G'day fishos, Brent from Tackle World Port Stephens, and I've got my good mate Jace from Tackle World Marks Point. We're up here at AFTA on the Gold Coast looking at all the new fishing tackle. We can't wait to get it in store, I guess, but it's going to cost them some money, mate.
Look, a lot of money spent today.
Exactly right, but we thought, let's do a collaboration, let's do our fishing report together. So, mate, what's been happening down your end of the woods?
Well, mate, look, plenty of salmon still in Swansea Channel. I mean, that's really been the highlight down in Lake Macquarie for around about the last 4 weeks. A lot of boats stilling out. Last week was a bit dicky, it was sort of funny. A lot of fish early in the tide on that run-in tide, which is the preferred tide, and then they backed off a little bit. Saturday in particular was a gun day, and then they dropped off a little bit on Sunday. But look, the salmon are everywhere. They're on the beaches, they're on the rocks, and there's some big schools offshore.
Unreal. Mate, I'd love to see. We used to get salmon in Port Stephens inside the bay, but it's I don't know, for some reason we don't get as many this time in the bay itself. But same thing, beaches and rocks like Fingal Spit, down to 1 mile, plenty of salmon and tailor. This weekend, we had a look at the weather. Nor'westers, mate.
Yeah, look, I mean, 10 to 15 might be a little bit better on that open water. Minimal swell. So I think offshore guys that want to stay in close, take advantage of some of these snapper. I know certainly down off Swansea, particularly south, south of Moon Island, down towards Bird Island, Catherine Hill Bay Caves. Some beautiful fish and certainly some very good fish for our area. Fish up to around about 4 kilo on some of these inshore reefs inside 30 metres. And there's some beautiful fish in the deep water out and around that farm down Texas. Some very good snapper and some beautiful trag. So things looking good. And I think Port Stephens the same.
Mate, Port Stephens, I had reports of this week of some really nice reefs, especially up in the shallows. Spoke to Gary, and mate, he's been throwing some plastics around right in the shallows, 15 metres, getting some really nice reds up to 6 kilos. So some really nice reds. I think Seal Rocks will be a goer. Nor'westers are great in Port Stephens. You can get up to Broughton, you can get up to Seal Rocks, and you can go south down towards Boat Harbour. So I think the offshore is going to be good. Mate, inside our estuary, plenty of bream around, some really good bream, and you don't have to be in the boat to get them. You can go off the breakall. Young KO, he's an absolute gun fisherman at Port Stephens. He's only a young fella, he's about 12 years old. Mate, bream at Trevally off the breakall, he's been smashing it.
Well, I think that seems to be most of our estuaries down in our part of the world. The Ludwig turned it on last week in Swansea Channel. Sunday in particular, I was watching guys catch them off the rocks where the boat ramp was at Ungala Road there, just donging them across at Lucy's breakwater down to the bridge. Some beautiful Ludwig getting caught and some fish getting surprisingly enough down around Catherine Hill Bay. Some of the guys going there fishing with worms for bream and whiting, catching some beautiful big Ludwig off the beach. So it's really, and I think this weekend, to be quite honest, Brent, lack of swell with these westerly nor'west winds going to be ideal for the guys getting down there and having a bit of a rockfish for Ludwig. But I reckon Drummer with a fair bit of burley should come really turn it around. I think the only thing that was a bit of a probably let down out of last week's report when I'd done it was the yellowfin didn't turn up.
No, mate.
And it was sort of crazy because I had Gary Hoff go out and they ran around, and on Luke that I fished on the Fifi, Gary got a really nice short-billed spearfish, believe it or not, on Saturday. Yeah, here it is. It's like late July, get a short-billed spearfish, had a marlin up in the spread. Yeah. Luke went on Sunday, got a dolphin fish out there. Yep. These are fish that you don't normally see. That water is still, I believe, a little bit further north at Port Stephens. All that Crowdy Head Foster, but it's just got to come down. Hopefully, you and I can get out there, chase a few of these yellowfin, and get some of our viewers to get out there and get in amongst them as well.
Mate, it'd be unreal. So, mate, I think that's a wrap. Just quickly, speaking of rock fishing, mate, I've got sent plenty of photos. You'll see them on our Instagram page. There's some really nice snapper, bream, and also drummer off the rocks. So that'd be a cracking idea this weekend. But, mate, I'd love to go and catch an yellowfin. But in saying that, I wouldn't mind an early season striped marlin. That's for sure.
That'd be pretty good. Now, one thing I think all of us have got to be aware of, as of Monday, being the 1st of August, that slot limit came in for flathead. I think everyone needs to be aware of that because there has been a lot of questions about it. No flathead over 70 centimetres now. All flathead over 70 must be released. And dusky flathead, the bag limit has dropped down to 5 per person, not 10. So don't get caught when you go out on the lake, up at the bay, with too many of these dusky flathead. That rule come in as of Monday.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. That's a good one. So, mate, that's about it for me. I reckon it's going to be a cracking weekend for fishers. So, I reckon it's going to be great.
Let's get out there. We're going to sort of hopefully get out of the Gold Coast in one piece, maybe.
No, there's a couple of drinks here and there. Soft drinks, that is, or maybe a water. But, yeah, anyway.
Coach
might be lying there.
Well, we'll see you next week, and safe fishing this weekend.